Hey guys, and welcome to Quality Shot. Filming from Canada, as I said in the stream. First of all, thank you to everyone who joined the Djokovic Berrettini stream. I literally just got off the plane about an hour ago. Before doing that stream, I was extremely jet lagged. Got through about, I think it was like 30 minutes of doing commentary, and you guys could probably tell I was absolutely knackered. And then I'm not joking. I was like, I can't do this. I turned it off. I was watching whilst in like bed. I was so out of it, and then just completely crashed. Refreshed next day. And I tell you what, it's a semi-final preview. US Open 2021. Let's go. Let's go. This is going to be absolutely incredible. We have some fantastic stories already. Two teenagers even in the semi-finals. One very young player in Felix Auger-Aliassime for the men's in there, and a couple of course, the usual suspects as well. So we're going to go through that. We're going to go through the men's first, then the women's. We're previewing both semi-finals for each of the WTA and ATP tours as well for the US Open. And then we're also going to have a very brief look before that at the quarterfinals and what went on there. Because I think it's worth noting some of the players, especially some of the players that made the quarterfinals, unbelievable runs, and I think we need to give them a bit of respect as well. So let's start off with FA against Alcaraz. I mean, Alcaraz, the 18-year-old, looking to join Leylah Fernandez and Emma Raducanu, who won yesterday in the semi-finals. He has had a phenomenal tournament, making the quarterfinals, and he is such an amazing talent. Obviously, coming through Tsitsipas, which was such a good win. I thought did that live. Thank you to everyone who joined that stream as well. That was fantastic. And look, he's one for the future. Obviously, he had a little bit of a niggle, and then eventually that injury just too much for him, so he had to end up, in the end, having to retire, which is a shame. But FA, deservedly so, having his place, and he looked very, very good for whilst that match went on. Then if we go across to Van der Zandschulp versus Medvedev, Van der Zandschulp, another fantastic story. Like Karatsev, the Australian Open, unlike Karatsev, however, they wasn't able to make the semi-finals like Karatsev did in the Australian Open. But Van der Zandschulp, unbelievable tournament as well. Again, I think he had a little niggle, but I think it wouldn't have changed the result here. Medvedev, I think, looked good. I think there's a few issues around, a little bit around his proactiveness in the rallies. Some of the rallies were very long, and he just tried to almost grind through them, which for the most part is okay. But I wasn't overly impressed with Medvedev. Yeah, I think he actually got on his own nerves and kind of riled himself up a little bit, moaning about the Bulls, saying I was at Labor Day and stuff. And I think he is definitely in the favourites to win it, and rightly so. I think if he plays this level, he won't win it. But look, still the semi-finals to go, and again, as I said, it's about peaking at the right time. And if he then peaks in the semi-final onwards, then he's laughing. So, yeah, a very, very good tournament, though, for the Dutch player. Medvedev, bit of tongue-in-cheek, saying that at first they asked him, and he said, I think he said he's a top 25 player before, I think, the match. And then after, he said, oh, he's a top 50 player, as in terms of ability-wise. So, a little bit cheeky, I think, from Medvedev. But anyways, right, the other two quarterfinals then. Obviously, for those of you who on the live stream as well for how long I did it for. Novak Djokovic, Berrettini. I actually watched as we were doing the first set, so that was an incredible set, I thought, and definitely the tightest out of all of them. Novak Djokovic, like he has done in his previous couple of rounds, just giving the first set away. We say giving it away, but not really. The guys have worked for it. I mean, Brooksby worked for it really hard, and here as well, I think Berrettini worked really, really hard that first set. It was just an incredible, I thought, performance in that first set from Berrettini. The passing shot as well to get the break. The forehand cross court was so exquisite from Berrettini, and that forehand is a pleasure to watch. It really is. It's a hammer of a shot, and the serve, we already know about that. But as Djokovic has done in the previous rounds after the first set, he downloads the information, as a lot of people will say, and it's the right thing to say, and then just that's it. He executes, he puts together a fantastic game plan and executes it sublimely, and that's exactly what he did, wrapping up the second, third, and fourth set 6-2, 6-2, 6-3. Easy as you like. I know about Djokovic. Look, he definitely wasn't happy with the crowd. The crowd were definitely with Berrettini. He's a very likable character, but I think also the crowd, for some reason, and I said this before, I don't know why they don't like him. But it looks like, look, let's be honest, if he wins the Canada Slam or the Grand Slam, I think it's going to be pretty hard for anyone to, boo him or disrespect him, because you have to respect him as a player. I think even now you have to. I mean, it's just it's crazy to me. It really is. Whether you support Berrettini or not is fine. I think also, I don't know how much booing was going on, but he wasn't happy, of course, with the crowd, not necessarily booing him, but cheering for Berrettini, right? So look, I don't know. I think he definitely used it to his advantage, and I don't think it actually affects him. I think, yes, maybe deep down he's thinking, why are they not cheering for me? But he uses it a little bit how Medvedev does, and deflects it and uses it and turns it into this incredible energy, which he then, I think, conveys on the court, and that's how he ran through Berrettini as well, and just utilized his fantastic skill set, returned incredibly well. There's one point Berrettini hit this incredible serve out wide to the backhand of Djokovic from the ad side. Djokovic hit this unbelievable return on the stretch, finding this incredible angle. Berrettini scrambling, slices the backhand cross court, and Djokovic just puts away the backhand again, going cross court. Great depth, great velocity on that backhand as well, and it was just incredible to see. And Novak at his best, and of course some of the backhand down the lines as always. But he just overall looked good, and I think people should be worried because, yes, he doesn't look at his best, but I think he, in this quarterfinal, for me, he showed a little bit of a level up from the previous matches, and that's a worry. And that's what Berrettini said after. He said, no matter what level I play, he can play a better level, and that's exactly what he showed, and that's what Berrettini said after, and he's not wrong. Right, Zverev versus Harris, a very interesting one. I think Zverev was actually 5-3 down in the first set, came back there, so I think showing some good mental toughness in that, to be fair, winning that 8-6 in the tiebreaker, then winning 6-3, 6-4 was a break up and kind of in front early doors in that second and third set. A very slightly stranger, I think, match for Zverev. Probably not the most impressive we've seen him, and this is the issue that I maybe have with some of these players when they've maybe potentially peaked too early in the first week. Now, has Zverev done that? I hope not, because he's now got, of course, the biggest test of all against Novak next. And a lot of people are thinking that he's the man to beat him. So we shall see, but we will talk about that in a second. But for me, Zverev, I think, I don't think there's too much to worry about if you're a Zverev fan. I think for him, it's more, can he keep up this momentum? He'll be in his mind, he'll be thinking two more matches. And that's what it is. He's got this far now. He needs to really give it his all in the next match, especially. But yeah, not maybe areas of concern, but maybe a slight little note to make that didn't quite play as well as you may have thought Zverev in that one. And Harris is a good player, but you would expect him to do slightly better. Right, let's go on to then the women's. So obviously, let's go to the quarterfinals first. I'm going crazy with my, here we go. No, Tuesday. Sorry. Right, quarterfinals. Sabalenka against Krejcikova. Watched that, by the way. I actually watched it whilst I was packing. And, I mean, Sabalenka, flipping heck. I actually think I went for Krejcikova. I'm pretty sure I did, and she completely proved me wrong. And the reason I went for Krejcikova is because I thought maybe she would make too many balls for Sabalenka, and Sabalenka would make a few mistakes. It was not like that at all. Sabalenka blew her away. She had some jitters in the first game of the match where she served, I think, 3 double faults. Got through it, though, and then it was just absolute carnage from then on. Absolute carnage. What a performance. Krejcikova didn't look herself for sure, but it was incredible. Then Leylah Fernandez versus Svitolina. Watched this as well, and what a match. Leylah Fernandez, I mean, unbelievable. 19 years of age, just turning 19, beating Svitolina in that first set. And of course, there's that incredible stat that Svitolina has won, I think, 42 Grand Slam matches in a row when she's won the first set. So I think it dates back to at least, I think it's something around, we're talking, I think, 6-7 years, if I'm not mistaken. So a ridiculous record. Leylah Fernandez did exactly what she needed to do. She won the first set. Of course, that's only halfway there, though, still. But the record that Svitolina has winning the first set is definitely something to note. So Fernandez, I thought, did really well. And then, of course, Svitolina came back on the second set. She was really good. And both played their part in the third set. Fernandez, was a break up. And then Svitolina came back, got the break back, took it to a tiebreaker. And Fernandez held her nerve. So I thought that was really impressive. Quarterfinals then, Pliskova and Sakkari. Sakkari came coming through. I thought she was so impressive. The backhand and just the energy that she brings is so good. I personally think is genuinely an impressive, very, very impressive attribute that Sakkari has, and she just outworked Pliskova, to be honest with you. Pliskova just a little bit pedestrian at times, and Sakkari was just so proactive and won the ground strokes, and everything is like 100% effort. But she's smart as well. She's got a good IQ, so I was impressed for sure with Sakkari, and I thought it was very good to see. Very, very good to see from the Greek player, and I'm happy to see her go through because I actually really like her style. And Raducanu, I mean, wow, she was a breakdown the first set, 3-love or 3-1 down, came back to then win 5 games in a row, winning that 6-3. What a turnaround, and what mental toughness shown by such a young player, 18 years of age. She's never been at this stage before. Her first ever Grand Slam was at Wimbledon, the last Grand Slam, right? Now she's come into here. She won, even a couple of matches there. Came here at the US Open, her first ever US Open. She's made the semi-finals. Tell you what, life's just easy, isn't it? Apparently, for some people, it's just absolutely incredible and well played to her because it's an incredible story. And as a Brit, of course, we want to see her do well. But I just think it's unbelievable. And she looks quite grounded. She seems very, very, very happy with just playing tennis. And she seems to have a great energy about her. So I'm really looking forward to seeing her in the semi-finals. And against Sakkari, that will be a very, very interesting one for me. Right, let's go on to then the men's singles semi-finals then, of course, because I haven't gone over that. And of course, that's why we're here. Right, let's go into it. So FA versus Medvedev. Now, this to me is a very intriguing matchup. Now, I think if you look at this and you look at the styles of play, Medvedev should be able to break down FA. His returning is so good for the most part, Medvedev. FA does have a pretty big serve. But if Medvedev is hitting a lot of returns well, it could force FA to go for more than he already has on the first and especially the second serve. That could then lead to more double faults, which we've seen FA struggle with in the past. Then also as well going for more on the forehand if Medvedev's getting more balls back than expected or FA is happy with. So I do think this isn't a fantastic matchup for FA, but if FA is able to play to almost his optimum standard and ability, he's definitely got a chance. I think Medvedev needs to not have a fantastic serving day as well. I think for the most part, his returning is almost like always good, and his serve when it's on song is incredible. I mean, there's some games he'll go through and it'll be like 40-love and he served 3 aces in a row, and you're like, what? And it's just he's got such a good all-round game. The biggest thing for me is can FA stick with Medvedev in the rallies? And for the short answer to that is probably no. But the long answer is if he sticks to his guns, he backs himself, and he formulates a good game plan in there, he could have success. And I think he needs to potentially target the Medvedev forehand on the run. That's something that I would look to do. I would look to slice. I know Medvedev has got better with the slice and being able to then combat that. And generate pace off the opponent's slice. But I still think that's something that you can utilize quite well. Does FA have the ability to do that? I don't know, is the honest answer. And also, he probably doesn't want to be engaging in long rallies. But the issue there is that you come to the net, and most likely Medvedev is going to pass you because he's a fantastic passer of the ball. And I say pass of the ball like it's football, but he's a fantastic player when it comes to passing shots. He's one of the best on tour. So FA, I think, has to play, for me, quite a tidy game, number one. And number two, quite a varied game. I think he can't play in a pattern that is so easy for Medvedev to read and anticipate. Medvedev is an extremely clever player. We know this. And I think FA is going to have to... I mean, look, he can just blow him off the court. Anyone can get blown off the court with just power, and FA does have that. But I think realistically, he'll need to have a bit of that brawn, but also the brains part, which is also having certain plays in place to, I think, disrupt the rhythm of Medvedev and frustrate him. And if you frustrate Medvedev, that is a big, big thing and puts you in good stead. Then, of course, the big dog, Djokovic, Zverev. I mean, I don't know. Is my honest answer. I do not know how this one is going to go. Djokovic is just, I don't know. If you asked me for the tournament, I would have said Zverev's probably got the best chance. Not just because of the Olympic win, which I think does definitely play a part, but just because of the way that he played against him in the Australian Open, he had chances there as well in the quarterfinal, and I thought Zverev could have won that, but he blew it a little bit. It's a best of 5. Novak's definitely the favourite. I'm going to go 60-40 though, which is maybe a little bit generous to Zverev, but Zverev has said before this that he is very willing to stop Djokovic. Sorry, not willing. He is very confident that he can stop Djokovic, and he'll do his utmost to do it. And I said that before, and he's got to this stage now, so he's here. He really needs to bring his A game, and he cannot play any passive tennis against Djokovic. The tennis that he displayed after being a set and a breakdown in the Olympic semi-final, against Djokovic, he needs to display here from ball 1. He does that, and I think he actually wins. I think if Djokovic plays a really top level of tennis, I still think Zverev probably wins, because I just think that level that Zverev brought to the table was absolutely phenomenal. But the biggest question is, can he bring that, and for a long and sustained period of 3 sets? And the answer is, I don't know. I don't know. So I can see this being 4 sets. I can see it being 5 sets. In terms of prediction, I think for the first one, I'm going to go Medvedev. For the second one, it's so hard to go against Djokovic. You know what? I'm going to go with Zverev. And you know why? The only reason I'm going to go with Zverev is not even to do with the level and the necessarily the matchup, but more to do with the pressure that I feel is on Djokovic. And I know, obviously, he's handled it pretty damn well, and not a big surprise considering how good he is mentally. But I have a feeling that it might come to a head if Zverev, for example, takes the first set or the second set and does really well. Then we might be in a very, very interesting predicament or position where Novak Djokovic really is feeling it, and especially if the crowd's against him, he's just thinking, like, what's going on here? So I do think Zverev might take it, and is a lot definitely hinges on the level that Zverev plays. You can't, he's not just going to give it to him, Djokovic. So I think it is definitely a huge, there's a huge thing around the level that Djokovic is playing as well, and Zverev. But I think if we let's put all the things together, right? So Zverev's level needs to be high. The crowd needs to be against Djokovic, needs to be very pro Zverev, which I can see happening, to be fair. And then 3 is the pressure and the mental side of it, where Djokovic is really starting to feel it. Those 3 things need to happen simultaneously. If all 3 things don't happen simultaneously, Djokovic wins. So the stars basically need to align for Djokovic to lose. But I can see it happening. I have a feeling. Serena went through something similar when she lost in the semi-finals when she was going for the Grand Slam as well at the US Open. Let's see though. Let's see. It's going to be so interesting. Right, on to the women's then, because these are some incredible matchups. Leylah Fernandez versus Sabalenka. Hopefully, we will be doing a watch along actually for Raducanu and Sakkari. So please do keep an eye out for that. But Fernandez and Sabalenka, what a matchup! What a matchup! Also, sorry, it's worth noting these timings on the screen are Canadian time, not UK time. UK time is 7 hours in front, so it'll be midnight, the first semi-final for the women's. Fernandez, Sabalenka, what a matchup, and I can actually see Fernandez having success. I think the biggest issue Fernandez will have, how does she handle the power of Sabalenka? Because she's played a lot of players, Svitolina, Kerber. Obviously, to be fair, though, she played Osaka, who's got a lot of power as well. So that's an interesting one. I think the serve is going to be quite key. If she can return well, Fernandez, she's got a chance. She's definitely got a chance. For me, that's actually a 50-50, a flip of the coin. I know Sabalenka's played really well, and a lot of people will call her the favourite now, given the seeding and also her experience. But for me, I actually think it's a flip of a coin. I think Fernandez, what has she got left in the tank? She won't be used to playing this many matches. Slam. So let's see what does she bring to the table. And you know what? I'm going to go for the fairy tale. I'm going to go Fernandez. I think the lefty is going to do it, and I just think she's got no pressure. I think Sabalenka's got all the pressure. She has all the pressure to win here. Fernandez doesn't. She doesn't. She's young. She's not expected to win. I think she'll do it. And I think it will be an amazing win if she does, to be fair. But the safe money, of course, is on Sabalenka. Raducanu, Sakkari. I mean, how good has Raducanu been? We've gone over this previously, of course. Sakkari, though, I love both these players. Really, I do. So it's quite going to be quite a hard one for me to watch. I'm actually going to say 3 sets here. Raducanu hasn't dropped a set yet, but I think Sakkari will be able to nick one off her. Now, the question is, who's going to win that third set? And we saw at Wimbledon, obviously, Raducanu struggled a little bit mentally and physically as the tournament wore on, but that was quite early stages. She seems to be in a really good place, physically and mentally, and with her game. I think the biggest question is going to be how does she hold up physically, given, again, like Fernandez, she hasn't got this deep in the tournament before. If she holds up okay, I actually find it quite hard to look past her, which is crazy to say. But if Raducanu wins, it will be an incredible win. But she has beaten Bencic, who's actually higher ranked than Sakkari. But Sakkari brings a different problem for Raducanu to solve. She's got high energy. She gets a lot of balls back. But Raducanu, the one thing that Raducanu can do is she should be able to return quite well. So if her return game is really up to scratch and she's returning very well against Sakkari, which she should be able to, then I think she's actually got a pretty good chance. I'm going to go 3 sets to Raducanu. You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to go for the fairy tale. I'm going to go 3 sets to Raducanu, and then we're going to have a final of 2 unseeded players, Raducanu and Fernandez, the 2 teenagers in the final, battling it out. That's what I'm going to go for. It's, everyone else is going to be like, what is wrong with you? How can you not go for Sabalenka versus Sakkari, or Sabalenka Raducanu, or Fernandez Sakkari? But I'm just going to do it. I've been so excited by the women's game in this tournament, genuinely, and I am sorry that I haven't been able to do as many watch-alongs to the women's as I would have liked. And we should be doing Raducanu Sakkari though, for sure. I'm really looking forward to it. Like, genuinely, I think it's going to be an absolute cracker, and I'm so looking forward to the conclusion of this US Open. I think it's been so refreshing. It's been incredible to watch, and I've enjoyed it a huge amount. So really looking forward to the end of it. Of course, we will also be doing a final preview as well, and then touching, of course, the semi-final results, and hopefully be doing watch-alongs for the finals, and also some reviews of the tournament, and hopefully some collabs as well covering that. Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. Please remember to smash the like button if you haven't already. It really does help us out. I do appreciate it. And of course, if you haven't already, do subscribe to the channel. Do check us out on Patreon as well if you're interested in supporting us and supporting us on the journey. We are, thriving quite well, actually, and I've been pretty impressed with the following and support. You guys, all legends for getting involved. I do appreciate it, and yeah, let's keep it going. Let's keep the momentum. Thank you very much, guys, and I'll see you for the live stream later on. Thank